Hey ho, DM Stuart here. And welcome to the Great Chaos Caper, Final Fantasy Randomizer Winter Tournament 2025. This is the round of 32 last chance qualifier. To get into this, you had to either lose out in the round of 32 or finish in the top 16 of the round of 64 last chance qualifier. We've got on the stream tonight, we've got Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna, Jesus the Frog, Mechlin89, who is also our restreamer tonight, and Flurry14. I am DM Stuart 1981. Alongside me in the booth is Thavion Hawk. How we doing tonight?
I do. Hope y'all are having a great one. We've got a black belt seed. We've been seeing a whole lot of those. In fact, I think the last 3 seeds we've had tonight, 2 on RPG Limit Break and this one from the Async, have been black belt seeds. They've got a black belt white mage with a option mage. Looks like everyone but Mr. Tuna there went with the black mage. Those blessings to go with that. The black mage comes with heal magic plus. We see that the white mage comes with plus 40 HP. And the black mage with plus 20 MDef. The red mage that Mr. Tuna's got there has equipped shirts. If they do pick up the fighter or the thief, they will have access to plus 10 luck or early lockpicking, where early lockpicking cuts 10 off the requirement levels wise to get access to that. So level 12 for lockpicking, which might matter. From what I've been told, even our restreamer who competed in this has no memory other than this was a fun race. So we've got a lot to look forward to.
Oh, the Punch Mage. I love it. You love to see it. Well, I love to see it.
So long as they've got a grind to make it work, or they find something otherwise to use and just use it as a meat shield. But that's the fun thing about a shard hunt like this, like we've been running. The grind doesn't necessarily make the best sense when you still have to check the same amount of boxes as your opponent when they don't grind.
Is it A-side or B-side trap tiles?
I believe we've got a mix of A-side, B-side. I don't know if we're going just B-side, but I know we do have B-side tiles involved. But I've very rarely seen a grind on a given tile. So, full B-side according to Mechlin.
Well, that does open up the possibility of the third eye grind.
This is true. The eye doesn't usually have touch magic. It's more about getting a script that's very brutal. So, since our scripts are shuffled, we could find an eye that's easy to punch and or stab and or cast against.
Is it still 28 shard hunt?
Yes, it is. 28 shards, as has been. We are already into the round of 8 with the live races, so remembering just how many shards were needed, if they've changed. I know they're going to be going up, starting with the round of 4. And we also have things like the bridge to Lefane, or the northern docks, which are being added with the further we go on to this to increase the possibility of like floaterless seeds.
Yeah, I know we've got some. I know we've got some of the map edits coming in.
But they do not have those here. We still have things like the river to Melmond, but they will still need to find that floater to be able to execute this entire seed. Or otherwise be locked out of all of Onrak, the Cardia Isles, Lefane, and Gaia.
And somewhere we've
Castle, got it. Or actually, Mirage Tower, I should say.
And somewhere, speaking of being locked out of things, somewhere we've got the Chime Shuffle.
Yep, so, we've seen multiple times that we've got chime locked locations. I believe today we already had dwarves locked out.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
And Bahamut.
The dwarf lockout feels real bad.
Thank you, Mechlin,
Okay,
with all
thank
that
you, Mechlin.
information for the scaling. And we are ready to get rolling. We will not have all the trackers necessarily going on. We appreciate Mechlin doing our restreaming here and contributing to that. But monitoring 4 streams.
Not the easiest thing to do.
And we have Go with the black belts stepping up. We've got a dragon as a black belt down on Mechlin's side with an interesting sprite
Decent.
set. Fighter to start with.
Yeah, fighter out of Corneria, a decent price for houses. We've got Fog 2, which is not bad. Fast and Temper and Cake. So, kinda, sorta, a sweeper here?
Yeah, that could be a substantial detriment to our runner's ability to deal with early large packs, including the pirates. You have to vanilla punch them, potentially. But does find Saber +2 that are affordable to go with that knight. Or the red mage in the case of Scruffy Ninja Tuna, who did not pick up the knight or fighter. So more than just the red mage causing party variance, Scruffy and Mr. Tuna are only one not taking the fighter.
And Mechlin, of course, with the correct flag master. Brocade +5 there.
Universal armor.
Universal shield. And an
Universal
Arn
shield
armor.
Beast.
Arn armor +5.
Pro Cape getting equipped by all those who have found it. Scruffy Ninja Tuna, our first runner to take on Garland, quickly followed by Flurry.
Flurry taking Garland and then, and presumably then, and Cake. Delicious Cake. Mechlin also with another correct flag, which is fun enemy names.
We have the herb, we have the oxale. Oxale is going to be a late progression item because we don't have the way to get to the on-rec continent, but the herb is something to check. Full open extended open progression gives us access to Elfland without needing the canoe or the ship. But we also have the free bridge, and more than likely we're going to see Flurry and any of our other runners going to Provoca before Elfland.
That is usually a correct play. Probably going to check that level 2 magic and see if we've got any kind of sweeper there.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, pirates are going to feel real bad.
Yep, there are 9 of them. They are not the unsafe pirates, so they're still relatively weak, but 9 enemies still slow if you can't sweep them.
There we go. There's a harm 4.
Improved harm flag is enabled, so harm 4 can deal a sweeper damage to a whole pack. There's Brack, which could be Mimi.
Brack, which... Okay. So, Shard Hunt, for those who have not seen much in the way of Shard Hunt before, you do get the option of... You do have the option of downing fiends. The Earth Fiend and the Fire Fiend will give you 2 shards each. The Sea and Air Fiends will give you 4. That is a crystal from Bicky.
Well, if you're going to get it proximity-wise, when it's the next best stop to Canaria on your run back west, this is a good choice.
That is a correct choice.
Jesus the Frog gonna take the check of Matoya's just for gear and gold. Proves it's not chime locked, but is gonna feel kind of sad when they have to run back this way.
And there is something there. There is something there in that marked trapped chest.
Not taking the fight, knowing it's potentially a pain to deal with when you don't have a sweeper.
Yeah.
Well, other than Cake.
Jesus that black belt is down. I wonder if Jesus is going to leave the black belt down.
Saving the experience spread, going to 33% across the party of 3 instead of 25% across the party of 4. Not thinking the heal magic plus is worth keeping the body up.
That's EXP'd in that chest.
That's juicy, but the harm 4, basically the only way you're going to get through that when you don't really have much in the way of swords.
Yeah. Fortunately, that one's broken into pieces, and that's some good XP there.
Yep, level 6 across the party, and there's the canal, so the herb is definitely our progression, but the canal does leave it open so the ship will get access to the rest of the map.
Yes. That silver bracelet plus 4 is not a bad pickup.
That is universal armor, whereas the pro cape is universal shield.
And
it is high level as well. That's plus 4 makes it better than a vanilla gold, I believe.
No, it's one worse than a vanilla gold. They're 5 off. They're 5 different.
Ah. Close enough.
I don't
we
know
won't have
all
anything.
I don't know all of the pluses, but I do remember that one on the bracelets, on the Cheerios. And that still armor plus 2 is a nice find for that fighter.
What I do know is our rolls are 2 to 5, so we will never have a down. The gold will always be better than the silver can be in that case.
That's true.
Equal to or better.
Always better.
Dwarves, nothing found there. Just 2 boxes with some chump change. Jesus the Frog dealing with a 4-pack of Peds, and they have Poison Touch.
Poison Touch. That is... Do we have Vanilla Touch attacks on?
Yes, we do, which makes ordeals horrifying, and the jerk birds are jerks. Undead can paralyze you. Mummies can put you to sleep. That's the adamant, so dwarves is the retrace. My hope is we get the canoe and then make a proximity play into... Well, we don't have the rod or the... Oh, well.
We don't have the rod or the...
Ruby.
Ruby.
I always love a proximity river to Melman play. But if we do get the canoe, that's going to be the choice of go south or go east. Do you take the river system from Elfland's side, or do you go all around to Provoca and take the northern entrance by the Ice Cave? Or do we get lazy dwarfs into the crown, into the key, into the canoe?
I mean, lazy dwarfs is a thing.
In fact, we could avoid the canoe. We could just get the ship and then go to Crescent that way. So many options.
We still will need the canoe.
Well, we would get the canoe from Crescent in that case. We can get out of the inner sea if we just get the ship, but we will need the canoe to get anywhere outside. And lazy dwarfs it is! Can we get lazy dwarfs into the key to get access to the dwarf locked and go back to the Canary Castle? Nope, it's the crown.
Well, that was your original statement, was lazy dwarves into crown.
Well, let's see what crown has.
And Jesus picks up that adamant, is going to go and find those dwarves. Meanwhile, Scruff Ninja Tuna going after those EXPs.
Gonna get that juicy experience. Loses the red mage, unfortunately. Especially since the red mage seems to have been the other damage dealer that mattered other than that harm 3 cast, or harm 4 cast. We see 2 Astos fights going on. Mechlin bracking Astos away.
That is some delicious, delicious XP.
There's the canoe. Okay, so Crescent, here we come. At this point, you're going to go south from here past Elfland to get there. Going to be able to check the magic if they didn't already. Level 4 magic, you've got some gold now, you can pick that up. Level 3 and 4. Flurry gonna join. I did notice Mechlin did free the Hooray Dwarf from his one-word hell. I appreciate that.
Just as long as we carbonate bubbles. I will disagree with that on Hooray Dwarf, but... And that appears to have been Canoe from Astos.
Yep. Bring in Mechlin and Flurry down south towards Elfland again, finding Heal 3 and Harm 3. Still no sweepers outside of Cake. Actually, no. Ice 2 at level 3 black. So the first elemental sweeper.
That just feels really bad.
They did get Quad X, and interesting, Mechlin doesn't feel like going to Crescent just yet. Is going to Volcano.
I can see that play. You get there's a lot of chests. It's a very high density play. And it's not like you can really pick up level 6 magic.
I kind of like this play if you have early exit or a good number of early warp charges so you can get out of here easier. Because if you have to run it out, that could be a risk, but a roost stick makes it kind of worth it.
The roost stick makes that risk a little less... makes that risk a little less risky.
So far, only seen about 2 X chests. Jesus the Frog, done with the crown kill. Or on his way to get the crown kill, I should say.
There's a black shirt. So if Mechlin finds that red mage, that's also excellent armor for a red mage.
This is true. Must remember that Blursing equips shirts. Thank you, Mechlin, for having those Blursings on screen for us.
Does not feel good to see so little in the way of sweepers, though.
True, but getting that shirt, there's the key from the sages, so that's access to Canaria Locked that we will have, which means Canaria Locked is our progression route unless Volcano pays out.
Yeah, unless Deep Volcano has something. Also is our way into Dwarf Locked and Elfland Locked and Marsh Locked.
Quite a few chests to be had, but Marsh Locked would be hilarious to see.
No one wants to go to Marsh Locked. No one wants to go to Marsh if it can be avoided.
What more matters is access to mermaids and TFC, the Crescent Room in C. Those are locations that the C item could be.
Oh, and we have Mermaid Prison, don't we?
Yes, we do. The Thief with early lockpicking is their only other route, but the key going to be available so easily deals with that. And see, Mechlin doesn't have the red mage to use that use the shirt as armor, but does have the ability to just use it as infinite cast of of Ice 2, which it's not the most powerful sweeper, but it is a Volcano excellent sweeper. It is a
sweeper. It is a great sweeper in Volcano.
Mechlin dealing with a box of poisonous peds. Flurry about to deal with that same box. Actually, no, I think this is a... Well, we'll see if this is a box in here or a different box. It is the same box, yes.
It is the same. It is, in fact, the same box.
We do have access to life at level 3 white if Mechlin picked that up, so could bring back up the 4th party member.
Yep.
But opting not to, the black belt is going to stay face down for the moment as Jesus the Frog picks up the key.
Well, as much as I hate seeing black belt not being used, I do understand it. You don't want to have to take the grind. You don't want to have to, you don't have to spend the time on it, even though you could probably walk and grind.
Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna has the white-red combo, so no thief can be available there. Jesus the Frog, meanwhile, is doing some running, going all the way north to Canaria, not bothering with Volcano. Gonna chase down the incentive items that they can get without going anywhere unsafe.
I don't dislike that play. We'll see if it's effective, but I don't dislike it.
I would find it hilarious if this is the floater and the ship is behind the, let's say, behind the Ruby in Volcano.
Well, I mean, if this is
the
the
doesn't
ship,
matter if you don't have the ship.
Is it airboat?
Yes, it is.
You can tell I haven't been playing in this tournament.
Yes, for all the modifications to the map from the beginning, we have had access to the airboat flag, which means instead of just needing the floater and the canoe, you need the floater and the ship, and then the ship can just take to the skies.
That is a rod.
That is access to the Earth Dungeon, which has access via the canoe. Jesus the Frog now has the choice: go to the Earth Dungeon or go all the way back through the river system to Volcano. Because progression is in either of those.
Yes, one or both of those will be progression for Jesus.
Flurry leaves, lifes up, and houses up, and is re-diving after dealing with the Volcano Armory.
Jesus is headed for Melmond.
Or going with the key and going to check the dwarf locked. Jesus the Frog doing the right thing.
Also the 3 chests in Northwest Castle.
True, that and dwarves. Or that and Elfland. There's a sweeper and a
Yeah, there's a Thor hammer.
A valid swingable weapon plus Lit 2, and the Mage Stick, which gives you access to Fire 2. So we've got Ice 2, Fire 2, and Lit 2 available on items. Helps with the lack of sweepers that we've seen otherwise. And a couple shards in here along with those caster items / weapons.
Yes.
Wizards, they're annoying, but they don't have Death Touch. So
yes, unlike their cousins, they do not have Death Touch.
First 2 boxes on the Agama floor, both check marked. Gonna have a shard in that bottom one, seeing what the second one will have here in a moment from Flurry. It'd be interesting if this is an immediate item, and then you just choose to whether you continue going through that floor to check other chests, or do you just book it?
I think it depends on what the item is.
It's a
ruby.
So we have a mandatory river to Melmond. I have to love that. Now this is huge, because any of the runners here that are in Volcano gonna have the ruby, gonna have access both to Titan's Tunnel, which is incentivized, and Sarda. So the rod may not lead to progression. So Jesus may have to go all the way back to Volcano and make this trip again just to get out of the inner sea loop off the primary continent.
That's gonna feel real awful.
Got some juicy pancakes. Get buttermilk. Get your proper Canadian all-natural syrup. Or you could be a fruit friend and get some nice strawberries. That's mostly for crepes. Dang it, now I want crepes wrapped in strawberry and cream.
That was an Ice Sword +3, I believe. Which is a very nice weapon for that fighter to swing. Or no, Ice Shield, sorry.
Well, that's very nice armor to go along with that iron. And we see the Aegis Shield already there just for promotion's sake. That is the top of the line shield you can equip. Do not disagree with this option of diving deeper and getting some shards at this point.
Yeah.
Did Mechlin bounce?
Oh,
or get wiped?
I think Mechlin may have gotten wiped.
Well, Mechlin's here to answer this. Sure did. Got it.
Yeah, our giants do hurt. They hurt a lot. And Flurry is going to say, that's enough for me, and take the long walk back out.
Understandable. Doesn't bother going down to the Agamos tiles or the top right pair or 2-pack. Meanwhile, Jesus the Frog in Earth on the Rodlock floor checks that first chest on the right and finds gold bracelet +5. Excellent max rolled armor.
And that is going to be in a shop somewhere.
Imagine that is on the White Mage. Ooh, no. Cockatrice, mummies, not a pack you want. That is Stone Touch, that's 2. Do we get a third? No, we get a sleep, so the mummies do the sleep touch. This is going to be a reset most likely from Jesus.
Oh, that...
Jerkbirds do the Jerkbird thing, and that guarantees that all 3 of the tiles in the top and bottom rooms on that floor are never going to get touched, because that is, in fact, that same shared tile.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Flurry out of Volcano, going to continue on, make their way to Canaria Castle. Looks like they're going around the bottom side, so they'll check elf dwarfs along the way. Possibly Northwest Castle logs as well.
Yeah, that's a smart way to do it. Or not.
Not checking.
Maybe not.
Technically, this is the shorter route just to get to the Melman continent. If they don't go to Canaria Castle, though, they won't have access to the rod. Interesting. Nope, they just took
headed to Canaria.
Yeah, bypassing the rod or the key locked locations, just going that way. Gonna get access to the rod and full dive the Melman Peninsula.
Meanwhile, Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna is looking at that 2-pack, and that 2-pack has an Agama.
Let the fire lizard be beaten to death, punched, frozen, cut, whatever gets the job done. To get the shard. Mechlin, meanwhile, took the river system the same way Jesus the Frog did. Gonna pick up the rod and be able to full clear the Melman Peninsula.
Now that's a Zombol pack.
If they had fire sweepers in multiple...
I don't dislike the idea of... I don't dislike the idea of taking this Zombol pack as a grind for that black belt.
It would be acceptable as a grind if it weren't so deep in Volcano and if they didn't have a complete lack of shards at this point. That is a big consideration. The shard count makes a huge difference.
That is valid.
Anyone who watched our race just earlier on RPG Limit Break saw the black belt overworld grind with only 7 shards. It substantially slowed down the progression, letting the opponent come back with the fighter and get the job done.
There's a ship. And a Zeus bonk.
That is progression outside the map
And
for Jesus the Frog, so Ordeals would likely be their next play unless they go all the way through and deal with getting that ruby.
And Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna making the walk out.
Seeing the party almost all at 1 health, gonna go and heal people up, has to deal with healing the 3rd party slot, which is never fun.
That is the worst.
Mechlin gonna check Dwarf Locked as we get to talk to Mr. Robot, or Mr. Titan, I should say.
Jesus the Frog just completely skipping that bottom room. Lich's bedroom.
Yep, it's only 3 boxes, but it's understandable. You want to get these 2 shards and you want to get the heck out of here and go back to Canaria to get your boat. Meanwhile, Flurry picked up the X-Cal +2, it looked like, out of Titans. That is promo locked, and there's the chime, so no
from
chime
Flurry.
lock. What would be the ultimate hilarity and pain would be if Ordeals is chime locked, blocking Jesus out of any progression that isn't Volcano. Because that is where the ruby is, and that's the progression access.
That would feel awful. That would feel just completely awful. I love that idea.
This is not the race that was supposed to start at 9 Eastern. That race got rescheduled to tomorrow. This is the VOD recast for the Round of 32 Final Chance Qualifier. Understandable, you haven't missed all that much. We're happy to recap what's happened so far. A lot of pain, but some progress. Some divergence as well, and a few Hooray Dwarfs have been liberated. Right now, we've got an interesting differential. One of our runners did not go to Volcano, and thus doesn't have the Ruby. That is Jesus the Frog, who is going. The ship now does have the canal, so can leave and go to Crescent or the River Dock and get into Volcano. But as they did not have the Ruby, could not get the Titan's Trove and Sarda, which has the Chime and the X-Cal. This could be an interesting situation where the Chime Lock moves to Ordeals, which is what we're finger crossing for happening for hilarity's sake. At least I am.
Yeah, that is one of the things that we like to see is things being awful like that. It's not Ordeals.
Dang it, which means this is our progression. This is likely going to be our floater. In fact, it's more than likely it is going to be the floater because it's the last location you can access with this current set of map mods at the Round of 32. With later map mods, the Round of 8, we've seen things like Northern Docks enabled, which would give access, as well as the River Dock to Lefane. So, stuff to look forward to for later seeds.
We have some scary tiles here. We have some scary enemy sets here.
Yes, the Sleep Touch Mummy is coming in a 7-pack along with a Wiz Mummy.
I think I would be hitting Harm 4 with that White Mage and running with everyone else, but that's me.
Mechlin done with Sarda as Flurry's in, gonna pick up the incentive item out of Earth Armory, which is the ship. Scruffy Ninja Tuna joining into the Earth Dive. Not many shards so far seen, or the incentive item for that matter, for Jesus the Frog in Ordeals.
Ugh, that man cat is never fun.
No combination of the words man and cat are any fun in this game, generally speaking.
Yeah, it's valid.
Gargoyles are very much just the same. They are very annoying.
Yes, they're just annoying. They're not evil. And if you get rid of them, they can be a fairly nice XP pinata. And more Argoyles.
See, Scruffy Mr. Tuna or Ninja Tuna getting that gold +5 that was an earth on the Rodlock floor. As Flurry continues on, does Flurry check Lich's bedroom? Nope, gonna bypass that as well.
And that's a floater.
Proximity-wise, this is the play almost always going to be Cardia Isles. It's just down and to the left
Yeah.
to get access to several chests and an incentive location. The only limiting factor there is if you've got the charges and the power to deal with the fact that all the boxes are going to have packs of dragons. Good experience, but potentially very deadly.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Lich being diced up by Flurry, getting Ice 2, taking a huge chunk of health off the party. We see Fade being used. That Fade was located at level 5 in on-rack, along with Ice 3 and Lit 2. So max level sweepers, more or less at level 5.
Level 5 in Melmond.
Melmond, yes. Where did I say?
On-rack.
Okay, on-rack would be level 6.
7.
No, 7. Some of level
Crescent
7.
Lake
not all
is
of
6. Yeah, Crescent Lake is 6. Half of level 7 is at on-rack. The other half is at Gaia.
And all the magic that isn't at Gaia will be at the Lefanian Superstore.
Yes.
Flurry gets the job done on Lich with some fire magic and gets those 2 shards and is out. The ship, meanwhile, being picked up by Mr. Scruffy Ninja Tuna.
Jesus the Frog heading back in to try those other 2 incentive. Oh, that's a 2 gas D tile. That's a 2 gas D fight. If you can survive it, that is massive amounts of XP.
Ice 3 is the optimal elemental magic for it, and a Fade cast could do the job. Yep, there it is. That could have been up to 4 gas Ds, which would have been even more brutal. And of course, using all those casts of magic, hey, a 4-pack of RDs. Honestly, I think that's more painful than the gas Ds.
It can be, especially when they have trance.
They're very dodgy, they have trance, and you're stuck with Ice 2 and a black shirt. For more Ice 2.
And gaze. Ouch.
These are more painful than normal. Scruffy Ninja Tuna, meanwhile, finds a weresword in Lich's bedroom. Only runner so far to actually take that check. And potentially paying off with a valuable weapon, given some of the encounters we have seen so far.
That's that 4 red deed pack done. And that's
doing the save and go back. Gonna life and doesn't have a house.
That is quite a few. That is quite a few levels on especially those mages. But also that fighter.
Oh my word, Jesus did not have a house, went to a Cardia Isle otherwise anyways, and found a house in the first box. That is hilarious.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Although Jesus the Frog is both.
Quite. All the runners on stream can classify in that, including our race streamer, Mecklin.
There's those blue Ds again, but that black mage is down. Those blue Ds can hit like a truck.
There's a reason why they're the guard dragons for the Sky Palace. They're the
Yeah.
direct subordinate to the Dragon Queen herself.
And Jesus is going to nope out of that and realize that's the progression, or that's the incentive item.
Did Jesus finish out all the X chests in Cardia Forest? I thought there
Yes.
was one more.
Yes, got all of them, and they were all shards.
A good quantity of shards. But progression is locked behind these blue Ds, as you say. And Mechlin, all of our runners have finished the Earth Dive. Scruffy Ninja Tuna dealt with the Sarda Dive and is on their way back, as Mechlin has finished that as well. And there's a slab.
It's a slab.
The Lefane trip is mandatory. Actually, it cannot be. We haven't seen our shop item, and we have what's in sea and in what's in waterfall. So
there's our shop item, which is the cube.
Okay, so 3 locations. We have sky, sea, and waterfall to check, with Lefane to be tracked down. Jesus bypassing Titans with the floater, gonna go straight for Sarda.
And as we know, it's not necessarily required to do Titans.
That is an X-Cal, which Jesus would most likely love to see with that fighter, but no promotion just yet. Wouldn't even be able to use it.
And there's plenty of other good swords for the end game.
True.
And there's that gold +5 in the shop.
The only incentive weapon in the pool is the defense sword, which could be an endgame capable weapon, but you really want to find the loose Masa, or potentially even the loose Vorpal for that high crit chance, if it rolls high enough. Otherwise, you just yeet it out of the Sky Palace window and use it as its proper purpose, the most crit efficient lawn dart.
Yeah, that I am not a fan of the Vorpal.
People who have played Final Fantasy VII are familiar with what Sephiroth did to that giant worm in the marsh. Well, if you look at the area around Mirage Tower, you'll see a bunch of skeletons of different creatures, mostly stakes or wings, stake and wings maybe, both just every time loop that has occurred has stacked up Vorpals that have been thrown out of the Sky Palace, and they always go for the head.
So there's an Invis 2 and a Cure 4 at level 6. And a wall.
Huge utility and nuke.
And with Jesus having done all of those dragon chests in Cardia, that is going to be he's got some charges.
Nikoloosh in chat, this is in fact the restream of, or a vodcast restream of the top 4 for the round of 32 final chance qualifiers.
So how do these last chance qualifiers work?
To my knowledge, the winner of the last chance qualifier moves on to face the losers of the next level. They async with each other, and then the winners of that move on to face the losers bracket of the next check beyond that. So the winner of this will move on to face the losers of round of 16.
Okay. Thank you, Mechlin. Top 8 in the round of 32 will move on to the round of 16 last chance qualifier. top 4 of the round of 16 last chance qualifier will go to the round of 8, and what it looks like is the top 2 from the round of 8 last chance qualifier. Does that go back into the tournament for the semifinals? Okay, top 4 from the round of 8 are reseeded.
Okie dokie. Mechlin, as a competitor who is currently taking part in this, definitely has more knowledge than Classic or from DM Stewart or I, as neither of us are competing. So we will defer to their knowledge. Jesus the Frog back in, gonna finally clear out Volcano, get some relatively easy shards for them at this point with the levels and experience they've gained thus far. Gonna get that Ruby and go, well, I guess this is good. It's gonna be a relatively fast check. Again, has the floater, but has access to all of the Fiend dungeons. So Sky,
Yes.
Sea, and Waterfall are the next checks beyond this Ruby and the Titan's Trove. And of course, the translated slab.
So I guess my question is, after you do when you get down to get that Ruby, if you're Jesus the Frog, do you take the 2 shards from Carrie?
At this point, Jesus is probably levels good with a good number of spells. We'll take the 2 shards from Carrie. And then from here, I can imagine going to check what's in Titans and then going towards Onrak. Since you have access to the Sea Shrine and you have access to Waterfall, that's 2 checks. Hopefully you'll get the bottle or get the loot. And then you either do not have to go to Lefane and Gaia or can go to both Lefane and Gaia before going to Sky. Just that would be what my hope for route would be. But to answer your initial question, yeah, definitely go for Carrie.
Yeah, I agree. I would definitely take the 2 shards from Carrie. I think I head for Sky. And because there's just so many chests there. As we like to say, Sky provides.
Well, Flurry opting to go to Melman to get the slab translated. Obviously, having dealt with Volcano, doesn't need to check that.
Right. That's Cake. That is our Ruby.
Not to be confused with Cake, the spell, which is commonly used on Lich. There's the
that
bottle.
Is a bottle.
I mean, if you want a quest change,
opens up an
interesting.
I was gonna say that opens up an interesting proximity play.
This gets us access to all but what's in Gaia, and Gaia is very easily available, so we'll be able to see some magic here. Still looking for exit, still looking for warp. There's life too.
In the Onrak level 7. So to remind everyone, that level 1 fast. I think I go for that after promotion on that fighter.
Most definitely. Having the fighter be able to cast fast on itself with the armor and the overall hit points it's going to have could be substantially more valuable than relying on a third party to cast it. We did see Nuke is at level 6. So the Mega Sweeper for Black Magic is at level 6.
Yeah, that's tough. But you clear these Cardia Island checks. You'll have a few charges.
There was Warp at Onrak 7. Or Gaia 7, I should say. Plenty of gold. Flurry can stock up on all the kit they need and exit level 8.
Exit at level 8.
Well, we finally know how the magic dispersed itself, and man, there's a lot of utility spells you would have loved to have
That
earlier. And there is the loot.
that is a required trip. That is a required slab translation.
Required
That
slab
is
translation into a very quick loot, but proximity-wise, you're right there where Sky is. You have access to on-rack. It looks like Flurry is opting out of the Sky play and gonna go Sea first. Sea and Waterfall. This is an interesting choice. Would you choose to go for the Waterfall and then Sea play, given the fact that Sea or Waterfall's so fast to get through? Or would you have gone Proximity Sky?
I'd have Proxy Sky. I'd have gone Proxy Sky with those levels. It's a combination of the proximity and the chest density. The just how many checks you get in Sky. Now, if you're coming off of Cardia, yes, then I do Sea. Then I do Sea and Waterfall.
There is a carry down for Jesus the Frog. That's 2 more shards plus any extra gain through the full clear of Volcano.
Oh, hello. Hello, there is your grind tile. If you're gonna take that black belt, that's a defense sword, and that's also gonna be 2 shards. So if you're gonna take that black belt to the moon, that's where you do it on that 2 rock goal fight.
If you've got the ability to punch the rock goals into powder, that they can hit hard, but the more you level up, the more absorb you get, and you've got some good gear with that gold bracelet that you can put on that black belt until its absorb starts stacking up.
Gets there, yeah.
Plus, it is a non-off-title encounter, or it is a no off-title encounter.
It is a safe grind encounter.
For anyone who's unaware, when you step along the bottom row of tiles in that room, there is no off-tile encounters, and when you go in and out of doors, there is no off-tile encounters,
and
so you can just jump in and out.
Flurry is noping out of that, but I don't blame him.
At this point, Flurry has an X-Cal, just really wants that tail to promote, doesn't want to invest the time and energy into trying grinding up, does make an error,
Wrong way.
Want to go down. Generally down and to the right from exit.
Above the hand. Above the hand with the index finger.
The Michigan Mitt. For anyone who actually gets that joke.
You mean like your other commentator? Not from Michigan, but I grew up in Ohio, so I am very familiar with people just sticking out their hand to show where they were from in Michigan.
I mean, unless you're from, oh, never mind. It's a map joke for anyone in the community that's not from the United States, but I very much appreciate that you actually got it, because what's the point?
And Flurry checking out the... Flurry is gone to sea.
See a reasonably good sword pulled there. Going mermaid side first. At this point, Flurry really just wants the promotion. Find that tail. We will see the divergence here. Mechlin going into Sky, having cleared out Mirage 1 and 2, it looks like. Gonna find the item in Sky. If that's the tail, then sweet. Otherwise, we are looking for the Power Bonk.
Ice +3. So if you did not pick up that X-Cal, Ice +3 is good enough for that for a knight.
Very much
you
a
did
valid
pick up-
and capable weapon.
If you did pick up that X-Cal, that Ice +3 is certainly good enough for your Red Wizard.
Flurry on mermaids,
Flurry
carbonating bubbles.
Does the right thing, carbonates bubbles. Finds that power bonk.
That means the tail is here in Sky for Mechlin. And Jesus the Frog, who joins Mechlin in Sky. I love the fact they both went for the Sky 1 bottom chest, the Bane sword chest, if I remember correctly.
Oh. Every time you skip it, it has something important.
That Bane
At least
sword
that's how it works
chest
for me.
Yeah.
There's that loose massa.
C paying out big.
In this case, C provides. Question mark. Okay, it's not on Sky 1.
Now, do you skip Sky 2 and then come back after clearing Sky 3? I've seen that more and more.
I would, just because Sky 2 is so... I shouldn't say low density, because there's a decent number of chests there. But low density. If you know what I mean.
Reasonable volume, low density.
Because there's no more than 2 chests in a room. And there's only like 2 of those, I think.
Flurry done with mermaids. Is gonna check around for... Nope, just taking the long way around.
Making a very subtle but very correct run by running up to the front of that door and saving 1 step.
Now, Flurry opting to save at the worst inn in the game. I'm not saying it's the worst inn in the game because of any issue with its location in-game. My problem with it is A, it's expensive, and B, it's a seaside inn that's surrounded by trees and further inland. It should be on the coast. It should be a destination. What's the point of having this beautiful seaside city recluse and then have the inn be so far inland? It's not so tall that it can be above the tree line. It's just the worst designed inn in the game.
Mechlin heading to the 6-pack. Also, Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna also making the Sky play.
As Flurry redives into sea, going crack inside, dealing with some lobsters and sea snakes that are stunning.
Seafood party platter. There's that Bane sword, French vanilla Bane sword.
Chucked it in the incentive chest. The Bane sword, an example of an RPG trope where you go into a dungeon and one of the early items you find is truthfully the key to accessing the defeat of the dungeon boss.
There's a ribbon in that 6-pack and an ice armor.
That is huge kit upgrade. All the resistances available plus the ice armor, which is pretty well the max you can equip pre-promotion on the fighter, as well as ninja optimal armor.
Still armor. You can't equip the still armor on the fighter.
True, but the steel armor has the evasion reduction, which is always the trip. But
Jesus real close to being good on shards too.
We did
so
see
Jesus just needs to get that loot.
We did see the Vorpal coming out of Sharknado.
Which tells me that C has your weapon. C has the good weapons and the Vorpal.
So I guess C in the sky is the correct route in that case because it allows you to use the Vorpal as a lawn dart.
Yes. That is in fact the correct route. And there's... Jesus had at least three full rows of shards. Might have been 4 full rows of shards.
You will see in a moment after getting this shard at the menu, there's another shard in the room. Mechlin clearing out the exact same box.
It could in fact be the incentive. We have not yet seen the incentive out of Sky. So one of these chests has to be the incentive.
Was the incentive not the tail?
Oh, I missed it. Mechlin walks right past a Warmac.
Also going down and to the right, the polar opposite of the standard routing.
Thank you, Mechlin, for telling me tail in the 6-pack. Oh, that's a scary pack to see.
As we were talking about Mechlin's maneuvering, we see Flurry taking on Kraken, trying to get those 4 shards and the quick exit out of the shrine. Does not opt to Bracken the Bracken, going with Temper to speed up the damage that Ice Sword can do, and it gets the job done.
So
has 4 more shards coming up. There'll be 6 shards shy for Flurry.
So I am a right then up guy on Sky 4.
To each their own. I admit that. I will accept that. But down to the left is the polar opposite of what I subscribe to, so I must be a little miffed.
Yes,
Freedom
there's the tail.
Choice is important. Flurry on their way to Sky after clearing out Kraken and picking up that power bomb. And a good number of shards. Only needs 6 shards for Flurry.
And I believe we've seen 6 shards.
More than, in fact. In fact, Flurry might not even get to the incentive item before getting that 6 shards. Actually, no. I think there'd be likely get to the incentive item if they go 6-pack first.
6-pack first, definitely. I think they definitely get to the incentive item. But I also think that Flurry is going to make sure that he gets the incentive item.
The tail of the promotion is access to all those weapons that were picked up in C beyond that Masa. The Masa is great, but the X-Cal does so much work until you get to Chaos.
Yeah, it truly does. And Jesus is walking out.
Interesting choice. Has access to C, has not been through it. Also hasn't chased down the slab to water check to bottle check to get the loot. So may not feel like it's worth the risk going to Tia.
And is probably going to head for C, just to see if the loot is there.
Meanwhile, Mechlin, done with the Tia fight, has those 4 shards, is going for promotion. First runner on to get there.
And Jesus is probably going via promotion. Yeah, is going via promotion.
It's 5 shards required from Mechlin, and in proximity to dive C. So Jesus, if they're going to on-rack, will be joined by Mechlin or vice versa, as we see the huge armor swap around. It does have the Aegis Shield +5, much more value than the Opal at +1.
Yes.
The Opal and the Aegis have equal absorb, but their resistances are not comparable.
Yes, because the Opal Armor and Opal Bonk both have lightning resist. But the only way you get poison resist is off of that Aegis Shield.
It has been said that the Dragon Armor plus Aegis Shield combo handles the vast majority of what you'd worry about. The
That
Pro
is
Ring with the
accurate.
Pro Ring.
And Scruff Ninja also walking right past the War Chicken.
Now, we love to see a Warmech fight, but with the vanilla scripts on the Fiends, that includes Warmech, so Warmech is fully nuclear operational. And
Yeah,
with the levels
is-
that are there, only the fighter is nuke safe, and you still want those 4 shards from Tia.
Yeah, that is not what... Yeah, we are not going to see a War Chicken fight. Oh, thank you, Saracen, in chat. Opal Shield and Opal Armor have lightning resist. The Bonk does not. My mistake, I thought the Bonk was the only... I was thinking Opal was the only Bonk that had a resist.
Yeah, I know that the bracelets do not carry the resist as well. The Opal bracelet is just the highest absorb armor that can be worn outside of the shirts for the mages.
And we have Jerkbirds, and the Jerkbirds are gone.
Flurry in the chest or the 6-pack gets the ribbon, is going to get the tail. And I believe only needs 4 shards, so after this could just bypass any other X chest and go straight for the Tia kill, which we see Scruffy Mr. Tuna, or Mr. Scruffy Tuna, Ninja Tuna. It's one of those sequences of the words or parts of words that make up Mr. Scruffy Ninja Tuna.
Jesus gets that loot. And is flying over to head into C.
Four shards taken care of. Mr. Scruffy Ninja Tuna out of Sky as Flurry going to the left and up to get to Tia. Gonna heal up before making it to the Bridge of Destiny.
And doing it the correct way by finishing with up so that you're already holding up when you get to the Bridge Destiny screen.
True, you can buffer that input.
I only make a big point about that because of my old co-op partner Mechlin does the correct thing and carbonates bubbles. Because of my old co-op partner, Rich Bork, who used to get on me ruthlessly about when you get onto a new floor, you know what the floor is, be holding your correct input.
Every frame saved when you're on a race.
Yeah.
The biggest annoyance there is the pillar maze and ordeals.
Yes. Well, but that's excusable. The pillar maze and ordeals is excusable because you never know because you don't know what room you're going into.
Exactly. Jesus the Frog and Scruffy Ninja Tuna both in Titans as Mechlin picking up the incentive item and the Masa in C.
I believe 2 shards left for Mechlin.
Mechlin saving out, leaving, I'm assuming is going to beeline carry for the 2 shards.
That's very possible.
We could ask the man himself in chat / doing our restreaming here, but we can also just see what happens. Meanwhile, Flurry gets the 4 shards for killing Tia. And both Mr. Scruffy Ninja Tuna and Jesus the Frog are heading out of ice with their defense swords.
Heading out of Waterfall.
Waterfall. I always get those two confused. I don't know why.
And yes, Mechlin looks like is making a beeline for carry for those last 2 shards.
My brain has just jumped to the question is why do we say B line? Why not A line or C line or D line or F line or theta line?
Because it's not the letter B, it's the insect B. And Flurry heading into Temple of Fiends Revisited at 105.11.
I stand answered, and I appreciate it.
And we have the correct Topher, mid-Topher. So, something about mid-Topher Earth Floor. If you go directly up from the stairs until you hit the wall, you are on the correct vertical pixel, or the correct vertical spot to go directly across to get the 2 free steps at the bottom of the door, and to be at the correct height to go into the Lich 2 fight.
A Lich 2 fight, which Flurry clears without dealing with the nuke onto the fire floor, gets away from an R-Giant and some Agamas. Meanwhile,
we have a raid.
And Jesus
we have a
the
raid
Frog.
We have a raid from Sweetie Bit Racing. Welcome raiders. See exactly what Jesus did there.
Up and to the right in the correct order. Jesus onto Lich as Mr. Scruffy Ninja Tuna, joining Jesus and Flurry into Topher. Flurry on the Carry 2 flight, or Kelly 2, given the
Fun names.
Alternate names. Realizing that Kelly still has 6 arms and many of swords. Dice is apart the party. 2 party members down already. Lich, meanwhile, goes down for both Jesus and Mr. Scruffy Ninja Tuna, and Flurry clearing out the fire floor, running down to 2 charges of Life 2. Gonna save those for Life in Battle. Life 2 in Battle, full reses, which is substantially more serviceable than Life in Battle, which only gives them plus, I believe, like 20 or 30 hit points.
And Flurry about to take on a Kraken 2.
Flurry does have a White Mage.
Mechlin,
Will Kraken 2
meanwhile,
do the normal thing?
Meanwhile, Mechlin on Speed Bump 2 clears a Speed Bump 2 with no problems.
That Speed Bump Mark II has not been proving too difficult for our runners, but there's always the probabilistic chance that our runners can wipe out of ordeals, or Topher. One of those castles, this time the one in the past. We did see Ink come out and dark the White Mage for Flurry, but so far no other party member has been hit by that. The Masa doing work, punching for a few hits. Fog 2 coming out. I like Fog 2. It improves the absorb of the party, whereas Invis 2 will improve the evasion. Not enough absorb to deal with Kraken doing 500 damage, out-punching the black belt, but that's not much of a worry. Gonna life and pot that black belt up.
What does Kraken do? Kraken punches the life caster.
And that plus heal magic does mean that black belt does have life magic.
So Kraken, using its normal script, punched the life caster.
Speaking of the life caster, Jesus is bringing it up after all this time. Level 1 with 33 hit points. Cube on Jesus the Frog screen is up for the Kraken refight, going on to the Tia refight, which Flurry is on. So we see 2 Krakens, who's a Tia 2 and an upcoming Tia 2.
Yeah,
that shows you how tight this is. Oh my word. These are our top 4 runners in this round of 32
Jesus says he mismenued trying to re-res the Black Mage.
Oh, well, the black belt went down anyways. But it is one charge wasted. Will that make a difference? Like party situation with the knight white-black, we have the fighter white-black for Flurry.
All 4 of our runners are on air floor.
This is proving to be the wall she normally is.
This is a phenomenally close race.
Fade comes out, Mossa Swing comes out, Tia's Scales proving to be resilient. Lit 2 taking down more of Flurry's limited hit points. Fade comes out, knocking the job done. Mossa Swing comes out, gets the job done. But Jesus the Frog promoted, gets through the fight that much faster and is on to Chaos's floor.
So does Flurry at almost the same time, but Flurry is in the process of healing up. Which is the correct choice after that. I've pretty well lost a race by not healing up after Tia 2.
Jesus the Frog, first runner to pull Chaos, goes with the Roostic, goes with Fast, takes a 215 damage punch, still nuke safe. That Knight is well equipped with armor and has enough hit points to survive that kind of punch. Invis 2 coming out to stack up in her evasion stacks on all the party members. Temper comes out on top of that Fast. Crack comes through, does not take anyone out. Roostic coming out, one more Invis cast plus that Roostic will max evade. Not opting for the Invis, gonna go wall on the Black Mage to equip equivalent to a ribbon on resistance for magic. Defense Sword, the White Mage is going to start stacking evasion. 7 hits, only 477 damage, though more tempers are needed. And of course, this Chaos has its vanilla script, so it will roll over to Cure 4 and full heal itself.
Yeah.
But 7 hits at 1,000, Cure 4 to max out that the Knight, and Lock 2 to stack it up. When Cure runs through, if it hits, it will go down relatively fast if this kind of damage can keep up. Fade, punch misses, full 6 Invis stacks or 3 Ruse stacks is enough to max evasion for that Knight. Slow 2 lands though, halving the damage.
Ineffective.
Oh, well, halving the damage would have been standard. Ineffective is more valuable and gets the job done.
Jesus got a 112.30. Get your GGs out in chat for Jesus the Frog.
Flurry down to the solo, but gets the job done just behind at 112.45. 17-second differential. Meanwhile, Mechlin and Scruffy Mr. Tuna into this fight. We see Scruffy losing the Red Mage. Mechlin down that black belt, stuck in the front of the party. Swirl coming. And diddly-doo. More Fog 2 coming out from Scruffy Ninja Tuda, trying to up the absorb. Life coming out from the life cast of the Heal Plus Black Belt / Master. Actually seeing some use. Fast comes out on the Knight. Slow 2 comes on the Red Mage. Irrelevant. Heal 3 coming out is going to bring the party members up to much more survivable hit point levels. Temper coming out from the Red Mage. Will we see... Oh, there's Cure 4. That is swings to go mode for Scruffy Ninja Tuna.
Yeah.
Has that X-Cal equipped.
Meanwhile, Mechlin coming down looks like towards the end of this fight. That's got it for Mechlin, 114.06.
That is our third finish of the runs. Meanwhile, we continue on here with Scruffy Ninja Tuna. More Fog 2 keeps them aboard going. We got Scruffy Ninja Tuna commenting. He's just trying to keep his Red Mage alive to get the fast cast off. It landed, now doing the tempers. more heal 3, really trying to keep the party going. White Mage takes a punch, but the X-Cal swings out 5 hits, 7 or
5 for
578.
578. 5 for 322 from that punch too. So that punch is not exactly not exactly unhelpful.
It could prove significant over time, but of course, if this heal or if the Cure 4 rolls over, all the chip damage could prove inefficient. You really need to get those big swings in, and there it is, 8
Got
hits,
it.
714 with a race time of 150 or 115.
115.10. So a grand total of less than 3 minutes separated the top four racers out of this last chance qualifier. Very well done, everyone.
As far as our forerunners who made it through off stream, we had a Vaughn at 1 minute 17:59, Danny making it through at 1 minute 22:31, Demon RHK 1 minute 27:12, Siberian Bowl finishing off at 1 minute 29:06, and unfortunately, Darian Dreiss did not make the cut, our 9th finisher at 1 minute 33:19. So GG's to all the competitors.
GG to all competitors.
To think these are the people who already lost in this event, and that just shows you how thick the talent pool is.
If you are enjoying this, if you have enjoyed this, you should come into the Discord. After the Great Chaos Caper finishes up, we will be starting what we call the Duckling program, the Duckling Boot Camp and Duckling Derby, where experienced runners will, teach you how to beat them. It is the Duckling Boot Camp is a 6-week long program where you have curated flag sets from our Duckling Dawn team, and there's also what we call the Platy Party, the Platypus, which is our recently graduated ducks, have their own little tournament at that point. It's a great time. It's a great way to learn the randomizer and to learn how the various classes and the various settings in the randomizer work.
We welcome all comers to the Duckling program. You get those custom seeds developed by our advanced runners that you get to learn different seeds. You see the Shard Hunt, you can see Oops All Loose, you can see Floaterless, all these different challenges this randomizer can put together. And then beyond the Platy Party, the way you graduate from the Ducklings is you win the Duckling Derby, which is a special race event just like this tournament, but just for our Ducklings. So much to come after this tournament. We are far from done with it, though. There are more races to come tomorrow. We were to have a race at 9 p.m. Eastern that got rescheduled till tomorrow. I know that much. I do not know the exact time for that race, but feel free to check FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. The link is in the chat there for the Discord. You can get all the notifications for when the races occur. Any final thoughts there, DM?
This was a fun little seed. I've always liked Shard Hunt. It's always been a fun flag set for me. It was interesting to see the couple of different routing choices, and very, very close race. Looking forward to see how the rest of these last chance qualifiers and the rest of the tournament work out.
Indeedly do. Big thanks to Mecklin, our restreamer, for handling and tracking duties on this. Glad we were able to jump in here on the last minute just to get some chat to go with the run. Otherwise, we would have been going bicky, which is just a colloquial term here in the community for a run where we just see what happens on stream. But with that, for myself, for our restreamer Mechlin, my co-coms DMster, you all have the greatest of evenings.
Good night, everybody.